We're back 7:40 with an in-depth look at the holiday travel rush and how the airlines are handling those crowds.
Yeah, after COVID largely sidelined the plans of many last year, Americans are back. They're taking to the skies in record numbers. Scott Kirby is the CEO of United Airlines. He joins us now in the middle of the busiest travel week in nearly 2 years. Mr. Kirby, good morning to you. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, this is a big one. This is a big week. Everyone's heading to the airports, and everyone is wondering, are the airlines ready for the crush? Mr. Kirby, are you guys ready for the weekend?
We are. United, we're excited to welcome back, almost normal crowds, almost to pre-pandemic levels, to be back to connecting families and uniting friends and family. And the good news is also the weather, at least for now, keep our fingers crossed, looks pretty good across the country. So expect to have relatively smooth operations over this busy holiday weekend.
You've been on a bit of a victory lap lately. You have not at United had the same kind of meltdown, scheduling problems, staff problems that some of the other airlines have. What, in your mind, is the single biggest thing that United did that protected you from that kind of situation?
Well, I am grateful to the United team. The people really came together during a crisis. During a crisis, it can either tear a team apart or bring them together. And it brought the team together at United. And at its core, that's what happened. And doing things like negotiating a deal with our pilots union that was unique and the only one to make sure that we kept all of our pilots on property and current and didn't furlough them has made it a lot easy for us to bring the schedule back up. And we did it gradually to make sure that we put our customers first and could reliably operate the schedule. But it's really the people of United Airlines who deserve the credit.
Well, speaking of the people of United Airlines, you made it mandatory. You did something that a lot of companies have yet to do. You made it mandatory that every employee that faces a customer gets a vaccine, and you wanted 100%. Was there something specific that happened that made you decide to make that decision?
Well, it seemed like the right thing to do, and we, of course, did it back in early August before the government mandated it. But for me, I think the real issue was I wrote letters to every single family of an employee that lost their life to COVID. And I had stopped writing letters. And then when the Delta variant picked up and I started writing letters again, you ultimately come to it and say, we can do something to stop this from happening. There is a silver bullet here, and we can do something to stop this from happening. And that was the decision point for us. It was all about safety. And I'm really glad that, we got 99.7%, 100% of the customer-facing employees are now vaccinated, and this is really in the rearview mirror for us at United Airlines.
Did you terminate the ones who refused, the percentage that refused to get the vaccine?
Out of our approximately 70,000 U.S. employees, there were about 200 people that wound up being terminated.
Let me take it a step further. Would you be in support of a vaccine mandate for passengers on airlines?
Yeah, I agree with what the administration has said, that we don't want to create friction to make it hard if you've been vaccinated and showing your vaccine card every time you fly or get on a bus or a train or whatever it is. The much more efficient way is to do it through the workplace, because if we can get if the administration's rule winds up holding up in court and everyone has to get vaccinated at work at all large employers, then we're going to have such a high percentage of the population vaccinated that we'll basically all be vaccinated and we'll be in a really good place. So I think it's more efficient to do what we did and what the administration is asking other companies to do.
Scott, one of the things I think a lot of us are worried about are the unruly passengers. I mean, you wonder about taking your kid on a flight and sitting there and wondering if some brawl is going to break out. You feel sorry for the flight attendants who are they seem defenseless. So what can a CEO of an airline do to protect the passengers and the flight attendants while they're up in the air?
Well, this is another one that has been different at United Airlines, at least than what I read in some places. And it's a tribute to our flight attendants. We worked with our flight attendants union on de-escalation training. And in particular, what we do to avoid these mask incidents is the flight attendants just hand a card to an unruly passenger that says, last warning, if you don't put the mask on, you'll be banned from traveling United. We've had to ban about 700 people. But what that does is prevents the conflict in the skies. And our flight attendants have done an amazing job, been amazing professionals. And amazingly enough, our in-flight incidents are down about 60% from the start of the year. So they're just doing a great job. But everyone should just follow the golden rule, take care of, treat people the way you want to be treated on an airplane.
Real quick, though, I mean, they could be banned from United and then just buy a ticket on another airline. A lot of flight attendants unions support the idea of the airlines sharing with each other their lists of red flag passengers or potentially disruptive passengers. Would you support that?
We absolutely support that. We need the government to authorize us to share those passenger lists, but if they did, we would absolutely share it and be supportive of that.
All right, United Airlines CEO. By the way, United recently resumed serving hard liquor on air travel. Can't believe I'm asking that, but does that seem like a good idea in light of these incidents?
This is part of getting back to service and returning to normal, and this is about service. And again, because we haven't had those same incidents on board airplanes, it's great. Our people want to take care of customers, want to do the right thing for customers. And this is just one more element of the service. So it's great to be bringing back meals and alcohol service and really getting back to pre-pandemic normal.
All right. United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby. Scott, thanks for getting up with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.